What's going on? It's your man Insomniac, back from a long break and bringing you a serious upgrade to your coffee tools, the MaestriHouse Electric Gooseneck Kettle. So most of us have an electric kettle for coffee, tea, etc., but most of us probably have the kind that you've been seeing me use for years on this channel at this point, like this here. And it works, but if you're really getting into coffee, this doesn't work necessarily as well as you're going to need it to because, well, it's sloppy. Before even getting into the cool features of this specific kettle, let me point out the biggest reason why you want one of these over the sloppy kind that I just showed you. A slow, precise pour. Can you use the sloppy kind for pour-over methods of making coffee? Yeah, I mean, you've seen me do it. But with this kind of kettle, you cannot easily control the speed or the spread of the pour on your coffee grounds. This kettle fixes that. It holds around a liter of water, and as you'll see here, without really adding much angle to the kettle, you get a slow, controlled pour, so you can add just the right amount of water to your grinds in the area that you want it to go. And it's worth noting here that despite the temperature you set the water to, the handle stays nice and cool, so you can take your time with your pours without having to rush because your hand is starting to burn. But I'm sure you're thinking, great, that's true, but there are a ton of different gooseneck electric kettles out there. Why do I want this one? This is where we get into features. First of all, with the simple turn of this dial here, you can set the exact temperature of the water to any specific degree spec you want, from 86 degrees up to 212 degrees. That's 30 degrees to 100 degrees Celsius for all of my non-Americans watching. And at 1200 watts, the heating time is fairly quick, even with a full kettle. You can see here on the easy-to-read LCD display the current water temperature. Then when you turn the dial, you see the temperatures that you can select for heating. You also have a temperature holding function, so you can keep the water warm at your desired temperature, but get this, you can set it for up to 100 hours. So let's say you made yourself some AeroPress coffee today, and you might want some more in 4 days. Yeah, you can literally set it to be ready for then, or now, or any time in between with this crazy long holding function. Another thing this kettle has, which is excellent, is a built-in seconds timer for timing your pours when you're making various pour-over methods of coffee. You set it here, get it started, and there you go. If you're like me and you forgot to put on your watch, just use this built-in timer. Super convenient and pretty important because, as many of you know, certain methods of brewing coffee require fairly specific timing in order to get the right saturation, so it's nice to see that here. There's also a child lock function, so your kids don't go playing with it. It's just a simple slide switch on the back of the unit, which you might be thinking, how effective could that be? Well, let's just say that before I read the instructions, I couldn't figure out how to turn the child lock off for about 10 minutes, so effective enough. Speaking of the instructions, I misplaced the booklet. It's in another room somewhere. But another thing worth pointing out is that the instructions that actually come with this unit are well written and fairly comprehensive, which is more than I can say about most things that are sent in here lately, so that's good. Oh, and for those of you who don't like beeping noises of any kind, there's another slide switch back here so you can actually turn the sound off or on the unit. So as you're seeing here, it's about as customizable as you can get for an electric kettle. During the time I've had it here, I found it easy to use. I get great controlled pours, the functions work well, and it's also an attractive unit. Nothing wrong with some nice aesthetics in your coffee area, right? Really, the only thing I found lacking at all with this unit is actually the length of the cord here for the plug. I mean, it's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. It's short, is what I'm saying. Hopefully, you know, in the future, maybe they add a little bit of length to this. But other than that, I literally have nothing to complain about. The last thing to point out here is the price. Down in my video description is going to be the link to the product page where you can find the other information and buy link for this. And if you scroll down on that page, you're going to see something interesting. There's actually a comparison chart there with a few other models that are comparable to this one that are currently on the market. And you notice one other feature that I didn't go over yet, which is value. This unit has more features than most of the other competitors for less money. So pretty much a no-brainer if you're looking for a proper gooseneck electric kettle. If you have one of these, leave some comments down below and let everybody else know about your experience with it so far. If you don't have one of these, I would suggest at least clicking the link down in the video description and checking out the other stuff on there that maybe I didn't cover, but either way, I'd give it a shot. Definitely a solid choice if you want to do your pour-over methods the right way. Time for me to make some coffee. I'll see you next time.